I tell you now, not as a theory, not as a dream, but as my living reality. I have won the lottery, not once, but 8 times. And I did so without tricks, without desperate effort, without hoping or wishing. Instead, I walked in a world unseen by most, a world where all things are possible, a world where I am the master of my own fortune. You must understand this. The world you see is only the shadow of the world you imagine. The numbers, the tickets, the so-called randomness of it all, they are nothing but reflections of the unseen forces moving within you. And so, I did not chase luck. I did not beg for fate's favor. I simply assumed victory. Each time I won, it was because I had already seen it. I did not wait for the numbers to be announced to feel the thrill of winning. I felt it before. I carried the feeling as if the check had already been deposited, as if my hands had already touched the money, as if I had already lived in that reality. And when you live in something as if it already is, the world must obey. I did not concern myself with odds. Those who speak of chance and probability live under the illusion that the outer world controls them. But I tell you, the outer world is clay, malleable, obedient, shaped by the hands of the mind. Some will say, but how? How do you win repeatedly? And I say to them, the same way you wake up each morning, the same way you know your own name. It is not a question of how, it is a question of knowing. I knew I was a winner, I felt it deeply, and so the world had no choice but to mirror that truth. Doubt was the only enemy, but I cast it out, for doubt is the thief that robs you of your inheritance. I walked as if the results were already done. I did not check my ticket with anxious hope. I checked it with calm knowing, and each time the numbers aligned, and what was once unseen became seen. To the one who understands, this is no miracle, this is law, this is power, and this power is within you waiting for your command. If you can see it, feel it, live in it, then it is already yours. The world around you is not separate from you. It is the direct reflection of what you hold within. Every event, every circumstance, every so-called coincidence is nothing more than the unfolding of your assumptions. You may believe that the world operates independently of you, that things happen by chance or through the efforts of others, but this is the greatest illusion. The reality you experience is shaped entirely by the state of mind you consistently occupy. If you walk through life believing that success is reserved for others, that wealth is difficult to attain, that opportunities are scarce, then the world will faithfully present those beliefs back to you. But if you understand that your inner world is the cause and the outer world is the effect, you will stop looking outward for confirmation and begin shaping your reality from within. You will see that what you assume to be true with feeling and persistence must, without fail, manifest in your life. This is not mere wishful thinking, nor is it a trick of positive affirmation. It is law. It is as precise and dependable as gravity. A mind that habitually entertains defeat, lack, or struggle cannot experience victory, abundance, or ease. The substance of your world is molded by your inner conversations, your deep-seated beliefs, and the emotions that dominate your being. If you wish to change your life, do not look to circumstances, look to yourself. Your bank account, your relationships, your health, your career, these are only shadows of the consciousness you occupy. They are not fixed. They are not independent forces acting upon you. They are mirrors reflecting your inner state. And a mirror can only reflect what stands before it. What does it mean to see yourself as a winner? It means more than just saying it, more than just hoping for it. It means embodying the feeling of already having won. It means carrying yourself with the confidence, the certainty, and the gratitude of one who has already received their desire. When you assume this state with conviction, the world cannot help but reshape itself in your favor. You may ask, how can I feel something that has not yet happened? But I tell you, all things exist now. Time is not linear as you perceive it. All possibilities exist in this very moment, waiting to be chosen. The version of you has already won is as real as the version of you reading these words. The only difference between the two is the state of consciousness you choose to occupy. If you truly believe you are a winner, life will bring you the means to prove it. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time. Unexpected opportunities will arise. The people you need to meet will cross your path. It will seem as though life is bending in your favor, but in truth, it is only responding to your shift in awareness. This is why struggle is unnecessary. When you realize that reality is a projection of your imagination, you no longer chase success, you assume it. You do not beg for opportunities, you become the person who naturally attracts them. You do not fight against circumstances, you transform them by first transforming yourself. Doubt is the only obstacle. If you waver between belief and disbelief, you will see mixed results. The world will reflect both your moments of faith and your moments of fear. But when you persist in your assumption, when you refuse to entertain any reality other than the one you desire, the world will harden into the shape of your conviction. Those who win, those who succeed, those who seem to have fortune smiling upon them, they may not all know this consciously, but they embody it. They walk with an air of certainty, an expectation of good things. And because they assume it, life delivers it. You are always creating. Every thought, every belief, every assumption is shaping the world you walk through. The question is not whether you are manifesting, it is whether you are doing so deliberately. If you wish to experience a different reality, then change the only thing that truly matters: yourself. Because once you see yourself as a winner, the world has no choice but to make it so. There is no waiting in creation. The moment you desire something, it already exists as a possibility, but it is only made real when you assume it to be so. Most people believe they must first see evidence before they can feel something is true, but this is the greatest misunderstanding. The truth is the opposite. You must first feel it as true, and then the evidence will appear. To live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to occupy the state of already having what you desire. It means thinking, feeling, and behaving as though your desire is not something you are hoping for, but something that is already yours. You do not wish for it, you do not long for it, and you certainly do not dwell in the frustration of not yet having it. Instead, you mentally and emotionally dwell in the reality where it is already done. If you were already the winner, how would you feel? Would you still wonder if it will happen? Would you still check for signs and confirmations? No, you would carry a quiet confidence, an unshakable knowing. You would not question, you would not worry, you would not doubt. This is the state you must enter now before any external proof appears. When you sustain this feeling, the outer world must conform to match it. Your emotions are the language of creation. They signal to the unseen forces what reality you are choosing. If you feel anxiety, impatience, or lack, you are confirming that you do not yet have what you want. And life will mirror that back to you. But if you feel gratitude, certainty, and fulfillment, you are affirming your success, and the world will reflect it. This is why those who dwell in frustration and doubt find that their desires remain just out of reach, because they are living in the state of not having, rather than the state of already having. It is not enough to merely say you believe. You must feel it deeply. You must let the feeling of having won saturate your entire being until it becomes your natural state. This does not mean forcing or pretending. It means allowing yourself to experience the joy, the excitement, and the relief of already possessing what you desire. You must let that feeling take root so deeply that it becomes more real to you than the current circumstances. When you enter this state, you will find that your actions, thoughts, and decisions begin to shift effortlessly. You will move with the confidence of someone who knows they are successful. You will attract opportunities, connections, and experiences that align with your assumption. The world will arrange itself in ways you could not have planned because you are no longer seeking your desire. You are living in it. The impatient mind will say, but where is it? When will it happen? And in doing so, it returns to the state of lack, pushing the desired reality further away. But the one who truly understands this law remains unshaken. They know it is already done. They do not need to chase or force anything, because they have already received it inwardly. And what is accepted inwardly must manifest outwardly. Some may call this faith, but it is more than that. It is the deliberate application of an eternal law. The moment you fully embrace the feeling of having what you desire without contradiction, the external world begins to shift. It may come through expected means or in ways beyond your comprehension, but it will come. The how and the when are irrelevant. The only thing that matters is maintaining the inner state of already having. If you truly knew that what you desired was already yours, how would you feel right now? That feeling is the key. Dwell in it, saturate yourself in it, make it your home. Because once you do, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. The world teaches you to measure your chances, to calculate probabilities, to look at statistics before you dare to believe. But those who truly understand the nature of creation know that probability is meaningless. The external world is not the cause, it is only the effect. The real cause is within you, your assumption, your belief, your persistence. Many look at the odds and accept them as reality. They say the chances are too low, or most people fail, and in doing so they align themselves with limitation. They let external numbers dictate what is possible for them. But those who succeed, those who defy expectations, do not concern themselves with what others believe to be possible. They know that the only statistic that matters is the one they create through their own persistence. To persist is to hold firm to your assumption, regardless of what the world appears to show you. It is to remain unwavering in your belief, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. This is where most people fail, not because their desires are impossible, but because they allow doubt to creep in when results do not appear immediately. They check the evidence, they measure progress, and when they see nothing, they give up. They let the external world convince them that what they want is unlikely, but the truth is the external world is only reflecting back the state they are occupying. The moment they waver, the moment they allow fear and hesitation to take root, they delay their manifestation. The one who persists does not seek reassurance from the world. They do not need confirmation to continue believing. They move with the certainty that their desire is already theirs, and because they hold this assumption unwaveringly, reality has no choice but to conform. The world may try to present obstacles, delays, or reasons to doubt, but none of it matters. To the one who persists, these things are nothing more than illusions, temporary shadows that cannot withstand the power of an unshakable mind. This is why odds mean nothing. The world operates under the illusion of randomness, chance, and luck, but these are only masks for a deeper truth. There is no randomness, only the outpicturing of consciousness. If you believe something is difficult, it will be. If you see yourself as the exception, as the one who succeeds regardless of what others say, the world will rearrange itself to make that true. It does not matter how many people have failed before you. It does not matter what experts say, what statistics claim, or what history suggests. You are not bound by probabilities. You are bound only by your own assumptions. If you accept the limitations of the world, you will experience them, but if you reject them, if you hold fast to your vision with absolute conviction, nothing can stand in your way. People will call it luck. They will say you were in the right place at the right time. They will search for logical explanations, but you will know the truth. You will know that your persistence shaped reality, that your unwavering belief created the outcome. It was never about the odds. It was about your refusal to accept anything other than what you desired. The mind that persists is unstoppable. It does not entertain failure, it does not seek permission, and it does not look to others for validation. It decides what is true and lives from that truth until the world catches up. And it always does, because the world is only a reflection, and a reflection must change when the source changes. So persist, hold your vision, ignore the numbers, the logic, the doubts. The only thing that determines your success is the belief you refuse to let go of. When you understand this, you will no longer be ruled by what is likely. You will become the one who creates the impossible. Doubt is the great destroyer of manifestation. It is not the external world that delays your desires, it is your own hesitation, your own second guessing, your own inability to fully surrender to the truth that what you seek is already yours. Every time you entertain fear, every time you question whether it will happen, you undo the work you have already done. You plant a seed with one thought and uproot it with another. The secret to effortless creation is detachment. Detachment does not mean apathy. It does not mean you no longer care about your desire. It means you have released all worry, all desperation, all neediness. You are no longer trying to make it happen. You know it is already done. You do not beg, you do not chase, you do not search for proof, because the one who truly believes has no need for proof. If you had already won, would you still check the results every day, wondering if it happened? Would you still ask yourself whether you were worthy of it? No. You would carry yourself with quiet confidence, knowing it was already yours. The one who doubts watches the clock, asks for signs, questions whether they are doing it right. But the one who knows simply moves forward as if the desire has already materialized. Fear is an illusion, a shadow with no real substance. It arises only when you look outward instead of inward. The moment you seek reassurance from the world, you expose yourself to doubt. You see circumstances that appear unchanged, and if you believe those appearances, you let fear take hold. But what you see with your eyes is nothing more than a reflection of your past assumptions. If you react to it, you reinforce it, and the cycle continues. To break free, you must trust in the unseen. You must act as if you already have what you desire, even if nothing has yet appeared to confirm it. This is not self-deception, this is creation. The world is a mirror, and a mirror cannot reflect back what you have not first assumed within. The moment you stop needing external validation, the moment you fully accept your desire as reality, the reflection must change. Doubt only has power when you entertain it, but you are not your doubts. You are the observer, the creator. You can choose at any moment to withdraw your attention from fear and place it back on certainty. You do this by remembering who you are. You are not at the mercy of chance or circumstance. You are the cause. The moment you decide that something is true and refuse to waver, it becomes true. When you detach from doubt, you move with ease. You do not cling to the outcome because you know it is inevitable. You are like the one who orders a meal at a restaurant and then relaxes, trusting that it will arrive. You do not need to get up and check the kitchen. You do not need to remind the waiter every 5 minutes. You simply expect it. This is the level of certainty required for manifestation. Most people fail not because they are incapable, but because they do not trust. They let their doubts override their knowing. They allow fear to dictate their emotions. But the one who understands this law knows that there is nothing to fear. Once you have assumed something is yours, it is yours. The world may take a moment to catch up, but it must align. So surrender the doubts. Release the fear. Stop looking for evidence. It is already done. Move forward with confidence, knowing that reality is bending in your favor. Walk as the person who already has it. Think as they think. Feel as they feel. Live as they live. And soon, the world will have no choice but to match your conviction. You have been taught to believe in effort, in planning, in struggle. The world tells you that to achieve something, you must figure out every step, control every detail, and force reality into submission. But this is not how true creation works. The mind that understands the nature of reality does not concern itself with the how. It simply knows that once a desire is accepted as truth, a bridge of events will unfold, leading to its inevitable fulfillment. When you assume something is already yours, life begins to move in ways beyond your comprehension. People you have never met, situations you could never have predicted, and circumstances you could not have orchestrated on your own begin to arrange themselves in perfect harmony. What seems like coincidence to the unaware is in reality the unfolding of your assumption. This is the power of the unseen forces at work, the intelligence of creation moving everything into place. So many block their own manifestations by trying to control the process. They ask, how will it happen? What steps should I take? Who will help me? And in doing so, they place unnecessary resistance in their path. They measure possibilities based on what they see, rather than trusting in what they have assumed. The one who truly understands this law does not trouble themselves with the mechanics of manifestation. They simply accept that it is done and allow the unseen forces to handle the details. The bridge of events does not always appear in the way you expect. Sometimes what looks like an obstacle is actually a necessary step. You may lose a job only to be guided to a far greater opportunity. A relationship may end only to make way for something more aligned with your highest vision. If you judge events prematurely, you may believe things are going wrong, when in truth they are falling into place. This is why trust is essential. You must walk in faith, knowing that even when things seem uncertain, they are unfolding exactly as they should. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to manipulate reality. You only need to remain faithful to your assumption, knowing that every event, every interaction, every seeming coincidence is part of the bridge leading to your desire. There will be moments when nothing appears to be happening. The world may seem unchanged, and doubt may whisper that you are wasting your time. But this is an illusion. Beneath the surface, things are shifting in ways you cannot yet see. The one who persists, the one who does not waver, will inevitably find themselves standing on the other side of the bridge, looking back in awe at how perfectly everything unfolded. The mind, conditioned by the world, believes it must struggle, must figure everything out, must exhaust itself in the pursuit of results. But the mind that understands creation knows that once the end is assumed, the means will present themselves effortlessly. You do not need to know how the bridge will appear. You only need to trust that it will. So release the need to control. Stop worrying about the process. Assume your desire is already fulfilled and let life take care of the rest. Events will move, people will shift, circumstances will align. What once seemed impossible will become inevitable. And when you finally arrive, you will look back and realize that every step, even those that seemed confusing at the time, was leading you exactly where you needed to be. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a powerful creative force. It is the final seal that locks in your manifestation and brings it from the unseen into the seen. When you express gratitude, not as a reaction to something you have received, but as a confirmation of something that is already yours, you cement its reality. Gratitude does not wait for results, it precedes them. It declares, I've already received, and in doing so forces reality to conform to that truth. Most people see gratitude as something to be felt after something good happens. They say, I will be grateful when I get what I want. But this is the wrong approach. It places your desire in the future, keeping it always out of reach. The secret to manifestation is feeling gratitude now before anything has appeared. This is not pretending. It is assuming the reality of what you desire. When you can truly give thanks for something you cannot yet see, you demonstrate absolute faith in its existence. Think of it like this. If someone hands you a gift, your immediate response is gratitude. You do not question whether you have received it, you simply accept it and express thanks. The moment you assume something is yours, you should feel the same gratitude as if it were placed directly in your hands. The more deeply you feel this gratitude, the faster your reality adjusts to match it. It is also a signal to your subconscious mind that the work is complete. When you give thanks, you tell your mind, I have it, it is done. And because your subconscious accepts whatever you impress upon it as truth, it begins to align everything in your reality to reflect that belief. It influences your thoughts, your actions, and even the world around you to ensure that your assumption becomes fact. But if you withhold gratitude, waiting for proof before you allow yourself to feel it, you create resistance. You tell your subconscious that the desire is still separate from you, that you do not truly have it yet. And so reality responds by keeping it at a distance. The key is to feel gratitude as if you have already received, because in truth you have. Your assumption has already been accepted by the unseen forces that shape reality. The most effortless manifestations come from those who live in a state of gratitude. They do not beg, they do not chase, they do not constantly check for results. They simply know, and because they know, they give thanks. This deep trust is what allows things to materialize quickly and easily. The one who walks in gratitude does not question, they do not waver. They feel the joy of already possessing what they desire, and that feeling creates the bridge of passive events that brings it into being. If you desire abundance, do not wait for money to appear before you feel grateful. Give thanks now as if your wealth is already overflowing. If you desire love, do not wait for another person to enter your life. Feel gratitude for the love that is already yours. Whatever you seek, embody the gratitude of already having it, and watch as life rearranges itself to reflect that truth. Gratitude is the final step, the confirmation that the work is done. When you can truly feel it without looking to the world for evidence, you activate the unseen forces that move mountains to bring your desires to you. Live in gratitude now, and you will soon find yourself living in the reality you once imagined. Everything you seek is already yours. The moment you assume it, live in its feeling, detach from doubt, and trust in the unfolding bridge of events, reality has no choice but to conform. You do not need to force, struggle, or figure out every detail. Creation is effortless when you understand the law. Gratitude seals this truth, locking in your manifestation before it appears to the physical eye. Let go of all resistance. Walk in absolute faith, knowing that the unseen is more real than the seen. Trust in the power of your assumption, and soon what once seemed impossible will be your reality. Thank you. There is an hour of divine favor, a time when the heavens open and blessings pour down like rain upon the expectant soul. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., while the world slumbers, the spiritual realm is most alive. It is in this sacred time that God whispers, "Come to me, seek and you shall find." It is not by chance that you wake in the middle of the night with an urge to pray, to be still, to listen. This is the moment where your requests are heard most clearly, where the barriers between seen and unseen dissolve, and where faith becomes the bridge to the miraculous. The world has taught you to toil, to struggle, to fight for your desires, but God has said, "Be still and know that I am God." The secret is not in effort, but in belief. When you rise in the stillness of the early morning, not as one begging, but as one knowing, the blessings already set aside for you begin their journey into your life. Do not approach these sacred hours with doubt or hesitation. Come as one who is already blessed. Speak into the silence as if your words hold the power to shape reality, because they do. Say, "I am blessed, I am favored, the doors are opening for me, the way is being made clear, and as surely as the morning follows the night, so will these words take form in your life." Many receive visions, ideas, solutions to problems that seemed impossible. This is not imagination, it is divine revelation. Those who sit in stillness, those who expect, those who believe, these are the ones who see miracles unfold before their eyes. God is calling you in the quiet. He is inviting you to step into the fullness of His promise. So when the clock strikes 3, do not roll over in slumber. Rise in faith, whisper your desires, and know that what you seek is already yours. In the quietest hours of the night, when the world is enveloped in darkness and the hum of daily life has faded into silence, there exists a sacred moment, a time when the distractions of the day no longer pull at your mind and your spirit becomes most receptive to the divine. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. there is a stillness unlike any other. It is not just the absence of noise, but the presence of something greater. An invitation from God to draw near, to listen, and to receive. At this hour, the mind is unburdened. The weight of responsibilities, worries, and obligations that consume the day has momentarily lifted. The chatter of the outside world has ceased, leaving you in a space where you can finally hear not just the whisper of your own heart, but the voice of God. This is the hour when the veil between the seen and the unseen is thinnest, where heaven seems just a breath away, and where divine guidance flows freely to those who seek it. There is a reason why so many throughout history, prophets, mystics, and those attuned to the spiritual realm, have spoken of the power of these early hours. It is not a superstition, nor is it an accident that countless individuals wake unexpectedly at this time, feeling an inexplicable pull to pray, meditate, or simply be still. This is the hour of divine communion, the moment where the physical world loses its grip and the unseen forces of the universe move most powerfully. God does not compete with the noise of the day. He does not force His presence upon those who are too busy, too distracted, or too preoccupied with the material world. Instead, He waits in the silence, inviting those who are willing to listen. And it is in these early hours, when the world has quieted, that His invitation is most clear. It is an urging to step away from the chaos, to embrace the peace, and to recognize that within the stillness, blessings are already waiting to be received. Consider how often the greatest revelations come in moments of quiet. When the body is still, the mind is open, and the soul is at ease, divine inspiration flows effortlessly. This is why many wake at 3 a.m. with sudden ideas, solutions to problems, or a deep sense of clarity about their next step. These are not coincidences. They are divine downloads, gifts from a higher realm meant for those who are prepared to receive them. Many ignore these moments. They turn over in bed, dismissing the pull to rise and seek God, convincing themselves that sleep is more important. But those who understand the sacred nature of this time know that missing it is like closing the door on an opportunity to stand in the presence of the divine. For in these hours, when the world is at its quietest, your ability to create, to manifest, and to commune with God is at its strongest. When you choose to rise in these moments, you step into alignment with a power greater than yourself. You become a participant in the unseen work that is always unfolding, a co-creator with God in shaping your life. You do not need to strive or struggle in these hours. You only need to be present, to listen, and to believe. The blessings you seek are already moving toward you, but it is in the stillness that you recognize them. This sacred time is not about effort, it is about receptivity. It is not about pleading or begging, but about knowing. When you sit in the stillness, you are not asking for blessings as if they are far away. You are simply aligning yourself to receive what is already yours. The world tells you that success, peace, and happiness must be earned through toil and effort. But God whispers a different truth. Be still and know that I am God. So when you wake in the early hours, do not resist the call. Do not dismiss the urge to pray, to reflect, to sit in silence with the Creator. Instead, embrace the moment, for it is in this stillness that heaven meets earth and your greatest blessings unfold. In the stillness of the early hours, when the world is silent and the distractions of the day have not yet crept in, there exists a sacred alignment, a moment when the mind is unburdened, the heart is open, and the presence of God is most easily felt. It is in this quiet that divine whispers become clear, guiding those who seek, answering those who ask, and blessing those who are ready to receive. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., there is a natural harmony between the spiritual and the physical, a time when the mind is free from the noise of the world, making it the perfect moment to align with God's presence and will. During the day, the mind is constantly occupied, filled with responsibilities, conversations, worries, and plans. The world pulls at your attention, demanding action, reaction, and engagement. Your thoughts are often scattered, bouncing between the past and the future, rarely settling in the present moment. But in the quiet hours of the night, before the demands of the day begin, your mind is different. It is clear, uncluttered, and receptive. This is why spiritual revelations, inspired ideas, and divine instructions often come in these early hours, because the noise has ceased and the soul can finally hear. In this space of stillness, there is no resistance. There are no doubts drowning out the voice of God, no anxieties blocking the flow of blessings. It is in this window of time that alignment happens naturally, effortlessly, because you are not trying to control, force, or overthink. You are simply present. And in that presence, God's guidance flows like a river, directing, affirming, and reassuring. To align with God in these moments does not require struggle, it requires surrender. It is not about effort, but about receptivity. When you wake in the early morning hours, do not rush to fill the silence. Do not immediately turn to distractions or allow the mind to drift back into worries. Instead, embrace the quiet. Let it envelop you, knowing that within it lies the greatest clarity you will ever receive. The guidance you seek is not far from you. It is always present, always available, waiting for you to listen. This alignment is the key to effortless manifestation. When you are in tune with the divine, when your spirit is still and your faith is unwavering, what you desire flows to you with ease. The reason so many struggle to see their prayers answered is not because they are unworthy or because God is withholding resistance in worry, in overanalyzing how and when their desires will come to pass. But in these quiet hours, all of that falls away. You are no longer fighting against the current, you are moving with it. This is why the most powerful prayers, the most effective manifestations, and the most profound moments of divine connection happen in these early hours. The mind is not clouded with doubt, the heart is not weighed down by fear. You are simply in a state of being aligned, open, and ready to receive. When you speak in this state, your words carry power. When you visualize in this state, your visions take form. When you surrender in this state, God moves on your behalf. Many have experienced waking up unexpectedly in the middle of the night, feeling a strange yet comforting stillness around them. Some dismiss it, rolling over to return to sleep, while others recognize it as an invitation, an opportunity to step into divine alignment. Those who listen, those who rise and seek, often find that in these moments their prayers are answered in ways they could never have imagined. A sense of peace washes over them, a knowing that what they have asked for is already on its way. To experience this alignment is to experience the presence of God in its purest form. There is no striving, no proving, no struggling, only communion, only trust, only the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. And from this place of alignment, miracles unfold effortlessly, not because you forced them, but because you allowed them. So when you find yourself awake in the stillness, recognize it for what it is. It is not an interruption of your rest, but an invitation into divine alignment. It is a moment designed for you to hear, to receive, and to become one with the infinite possibilities that God has already prepared for you. In the early hours of the morning, when the world is still and your spirit is at ease, there is an opportunity to step into a state of true faith. A faith that does not plead, does not force, and does not strive, but simply knows. God does not require struggle, nor does He ask for desperation. He does not respond to fear-based prayers or frantic requests rooted in doubt. Instead, he moves when you surrender, when you trust, when you sit in stillness with the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. Faith is the key, not force. Too often people approach prayer and manifestation as if they must convince God to bless them, as if they must work tirelessly to prove they are worthy of receiving. But this is not the nature of divine blessings. The moment you ask in true faith, believing that it is done, you activate the unseen forces that bring your desire into reality. You do not need to wrestle with doubt or beg as though you are lacking. You only need to align yourself with the knowing that what you have asked for is already set in motion. The stillness of the early morning is the perfect time to practice this level of faith. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the mind is free from the distractions that normally cloud it. The fears that creep in during the day are quiet, and the outside world has not yet imposed its demands. In this sacred window, you have the rare chance to sit in absolute stillness and know, beyond logic, beyond circumstance, beyond what your eyes can see, that what you seek is already unfolding. It is in this stillness that you allow divine forces to work without interference. When you let go of the need to control how and when your blessings will arrive, you make room for miracles to manifest in ways greater than you could have planned. Those who struggle to receive are often those who try too hard, who attempt to force their desires into existence through worry, doubt, and excessive effort. But those who receive with ease are those who surrender, those who rest in the certainty that God has already provided. Imagine a seed planted in the ground. You do not need to dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You do not need to beg the soil to do its job. You water it, you trust the process, and in time it flourishes. The same is true for the blessings you seek. The moment you ask, the moment you declare your desire with faith, the seed is planted in the spiritual realm. Your only task is to remain in a state of belief, knowing that the unseen forces of God are at work to bring it forth. This is why the early morning is so powerful. In the silence, you can reaffirm your faith without external distractions. You can visualize your desire as already fulfilled, not as something far away, but as something present, something real. You do not need to force it into existence. You only need to accept that it is already unfolding. Faith is not about convincing yourself through effort. It is about knowing in your heart that what you seek is already yours. It is about trusting the unseen more than what your physical eyes perceive. It is about choosing belief over doubt, trust over worry, and surrender over struggle. When you enter this state, you open the floodgates for blessings to flow effortlessly into your life. So when you find yourself awake in the stillness of the early morning, take it as a sign, a divine invitation to let go of struggle and step fully into faith. Do not use this time to beg or plead. Use it to affirm that what you desire is already set in motion. Let your heart be still, let your mind be at peace, and let your faith be unshaken. For in that moment of true belief, you are not waiting for a blessing, you are already living in it. In the quiet of the early morning, when the world is still and the noise of daily life has not yet invaded your mind, there exists a moment of profound creative power. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., when your thoughts are unburdened and your spirit is at peace, your words carry a force that can shape reality itself. This is the hour when declarations become more than mere words. They become the seeds of manifestation, the spoken commands that call forth the unseen. What you speak with conviction sets into motion the forces of creation. Words are not empty. They are vessels of energy, carrying your faith, your intention, and your belief into the universe. Many people pray from a place of lack, pleading and wishing, hoping that God will hear them. But the power of declaration is different. It does not hope. It speaks as if what is desired is already fulfilled. It is not asking for something to happen. It is commanding it into being. When you declare, I am blessed, you are not making a request, you are affirming a truth. When you say, I am healed, you are not wishing for her health, you are aligning yourself with the reality of wholeness. When you proclaim, wealth flows to me effortlessly, you are not pleading for money, you are stepping into the identity of abundance. At 3 a.m., when the veil between the physical and the spiritual is thinnest, these words carry an unmatched power. They bypass the logical mind, which often resists and doubts, and they settle deep into the subconscious, where true transformation begins. Think of the way the world was created by the spoken word. Let there be light, and there was light. The same principle applies to your life. What you repeatedly declare with faith becomes your experience. But most people speak carelessly, unaware of the power they hold. They say, I'm always struggling, and struggle continues. They say, nothing ever works out for me, and life reflects that belief. They declare defeat without realizing that their words are forming the very reality they live in. The early morning hours offer a chance to change this. In the stillness, there is no resistance, only openness, only possibility. This is why it is the perfect time to affirm what you desire, to speak boldly and with unwavering belief. Do not focus on what you lack, focus on what you are stepping into. Speak life over your circumstances. Speak success over your path. Speak healing over your body. Speak joy over your heart. If you wake up unexpectedly during these hours, do not dismiss it as random. It is an invitation to declare your desires into existence. Instead of rolling over and going back to sleep, sit in stillness and speak as if what you desire is already here. My life is abundant. I walk in divine favor. Everything is aligning for my highest good. Feel the truth of these words as you say them. Let them become part of you. The power of declaration is not about forcing something to happen. It is about aligning yourself with the reality that already exists in the unseen. Your words are the bridge between what is invisible and what becomes visible. What you consistently declare with faith must eventually take shape in your life. So when the world is asleep and the morning is quiet, step into your creative authority. Speak your future as if it is already here. Declare blessings over your life with confidence, and most importantly, believe in the power that has been placed within you. For when you speak with faith, the universe listens, God listens, and what you declare in these sacred hours will surely come to pass. In the stillness of the early morning, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the world is quiet, and the distractions of the day have not yet intruded upon the mind. It is in these sacred hours that many have reported receiving divine revelations, visions, insights, and sudden clarity about their life's path. These experiences are not random, they are not coincidences. They are confirmations that God speaks in silence, revealing answers to those who are willing to seek Him with an open heart. Throughout history, those who have walked closely with God, prophets, visionaries, and spiritual seekers, have often received divine instructions in the stillness of the night. When the conscious mind is at rest, the subconscious is more receptive, more attuned to the unseen. It is in this state that inspiration flows effortlessly, that answers to long-standing questions arrive as if whispered from a source beyond comprehension. This is not the result of mere imagination. It is the process by which God downloads wisdom into the hearts of those who are prepared to receive. Many who awaken at this hour feel an unexplainable pull to listen, to sit in quiet expectation. They may receive sudden flashes of insight, ideas they had never considered before, solutions to problems that had seemed impossible to solve. Some receive dreams so vivid they feel more real than waking life, as if they had glimpsed a reality not yet made manifest. Others experience an overwhelming sense of peace, a deep knowing that they are exactly where they need to be. These moments are divine encounters, signs that God is communicating, revealing what the physical eyes cannot yet see. But too often, people ignore these sacred moments. They dismiss their waking at 3 a.m. as mere restlessness. They rush to fill the silence with distractions, failing to recognize that they are being called into communion with the divine. Yet, if they would only pause and listen, they would come to understand that these moments hold the answers they have been seeking. God does not always speak through loud signs or dramatic events. More often he speaks in the quiet, in the whispers that come when the mind is calm and the heart is open. He reveals pathways not through force, but through gentle nudges, through subtle yet undeniable impressions that stir the soul. And when one listens, truly listens, they begin to see with a clarity they never had before. It is during these early hours that visions are given, not just as glimpses of the future, but as divine instructions. A person seeking direction may suddenly feel compelled to take a step they had been hesitant to take. A person longing for healing may receive the understanding that their breakthrough is already in motion. A person praying for financial abundance may be shown an idea that, when acted upon, changes the course of their life. These revelations are not accidents, they are divine downloads, gifts given to those who seek in faith. Receiving such insight, however, requires more than just being awake at this hour. It requires a willingness to be still, to listen, to surrender the need to control, and instead trust in the wisdom that is being imparted. It requires faith to act upon what is revealed, even when logic says otherwise. For often, divine instructions do not align with human reasoning. They require stepping into the unknown, trusting that the way will be made clear. Those who consistently wake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. should not see it as mere coincidence. It is a calling, an invitation to receive, to open the spiritual ears and hear what God is saying. It is a sacred opportunity to gain wisdom beyond the physical, to see beyond what is visible, to receive direction that cannot be found in the noise of the day. So when you find yourself stirred from sleep in the quiet of the night, resist the urge to dismiss it. Instead, embrace it. Sit in stillness. Listen. Pay attention to the thoughts and impressions that arise. Write them down, reflect on them, and most importantly, act on what is revealed. For in these moments you are not simply awake, you are being awakened. You are being given a glimpse of what is to come. And if you are faithful in listening, in trusting, and in acting, you will find that everything you need is already being placed before you. When you approach God in the stillness of the early morning, between the sacred hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you must come with one essential quality: expectancy. To seek without expectation is to plant a seed and never water it. To knock on a door while doubting it will ever open. The law of expectancy is simple yet powerful. What you truly believe and expect, you will receive. It is not enough to merely ask. You must believe that what you seek is already being prepared for you. Many people pray, but they do so with hesitation, with uncertainty lingering in their hearts. They ask, but in the back of their minds they wonder if their request will ever be answered. This doubt is a barrier, a wall that blocks the very blessings they are hoping to receive. God does not respond to weak, doubtful prayers. He responds to faith, to certainty, to the quiet confidence that knows His promises are already in motion. Expectation is not wishful thinking, it is knowing. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not doubt whether it will grow. He does not dig it up every day wondering if it is working. He trusts the process. He waters it, nurtures it, and expects a harvest in due time. This is the same principle that applies to seeking God's blessings. You do not beg, you do not plead, you ask. And then you rest in the certainty that what you have asked for is already being arranged. Consider the words: ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. There is no hesitation in this promise. It does not say, ask and perhaps it will be given. It does not say, knock and maybe the door will open. It is absolute, but the key to receiving lies in your expectation. If you approach in doubt, you will receive according to your doubt. If you approach in faith, you will receive according to your faith. Expectation is an act of surrender. It is the willingness to believe that even if you cannot yet see it, what you have asked for is already in motion. Many fail because they look for immediate signs, and when they do not see instant results, they allow doubt to creep in. But just as the seed takes time to grow beneath the soil before breaking through the surface, so too do your blessings take time to unfold in the physical world. Your role is not to force it, but to trust it. In the stillness of the early morning, when the mind is clear and the distractions of the day have not yet taken hold, this is the perfect time to practice the law of expectancy. Sit in silence and ask for what you desire, but do not ask as though you are lacking. Ask as though you are already receiving. Speak as though it is already done. And then, most importantly, rest in that belief. Expectation also means preparing yourself to receive. If you truly expect something, you make room for it in your life. You do not wait until it arrives to act. You begin living as if it is already yours. If you are seeking abundance, begin carrying yourself as someone who is abundant. If you are seeking healing, begin speaking of yourself as already whole. If you are seeking direction, move forward with confidence, knowing that clarity will come at the right moment. When you operate from a place of expectancy, you activate unseen forces. Doors begin to open, paths begin to clear. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is not luck, it is law. The universe moves according to the energy you project, and God responds to the faith you hold. So when you wake in the early hours, when you sit in communion with the divine, come with expectation. Do not seek with hesitation or fear. Speak your desires with certainty. Believe in their fulfillment and then rest, for what you seek is already being prepared, and in divine timing it will surely come to pass. In the sacred hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you are given a divine invitation, an opportunity to align with God in stillness, to receive clarity, guidance, and blessings beyond measure. This is not a time of struggle, but of surrender, not of doubt, but of faith. When you approach an expectation, knowing that what you seek is already being prepared, you activate unseen forces that move in your favor. God does not require you to beg for what is already yours. He asks that you believe, that you declare with conviction, and that you trust the process without resistance. In these early moments, when the world is silent and distractions are absent, you can hear Him more clearly. It is here that divine downloads, visions, and revelations come effortlessly to those who truly seek. As you step into this practice, remember, do not ask with fear, but with certainty. Do not chase, but receive. Do not question, but trust. For when you believe without hesitation, you will see your desires manifest in ways greater than you ever imagined. May you wake in expectancy, speak in faith, and walk in the assurance that your blessings are already on their way. Thank you. In the sacred hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you are given a divine invitation, an opportunity to align with God in stillness, to receive clarity, guidance, and blessings beyond measure. This is not a time of struggle, but of surrender, not of doubt, but of faith. When you approach an expectation, knowing that what you seek is already being prepared, you activate unseen forces that move in your favor. God does not require you to beg for what is already yours. He asks that you believe, that you declare with conviction, and that you trust the process without resistance. In these early moments, when the world is silent and distractions are absent, you can hear Him more clearly. It is here that divine downloads, visions, and revelations come effortlessly to those who truly seek. As you step into this practice, remember, do not ask with fear, but with certainty. Do not chase, but receive. Do not question, but trust. For when you believe without hesitation, you will see your desires manifest in ways greater than you ever imagined. May you wake in expectancy, speak in faith, and walk in the assurance that your blessings are already on their way. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and step into the life you have long desired. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Feel it. Breathe it in. You are not reaching for it. You are living it. because what you seek is already yours. You have been conditioned to believe that you must struggle, that you must work tirelessly, that you must prove yourself worthy before receiving. But this is an illusion. Creation is finished. The moment you desire a thing, it exists immediately, completely, and perfectly. So why do so many fail to receive? Because they do not trust. They pray but look around in doubt. They affirm but continue to check for evidence. This is not faith. Faith is knowing. Faith is walking boldly. Even when the world tells you otherwise, act as if it is already yours. When you assume the feeling of already having, the universe has no choice but to conform. If you desire love, walk in love now. If you desire wealth, embody abundance today. If you desire healing, move as if you are whole. Do not ask when. Do not question how. Simply become. This is how the universe works. It mirrors your internal reality. The moment you stop begging and start knowing, the tide shifts. Doors open, people appear, circumstances rearrange themselves in ways you never imagined, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. Let go of resistance, release doubt. Step into gratitude, for gratitude is the signal that you have already received. Say thank you, not in anticipation, but in certainty. Trust the process. Trust that it is already done. The desire that burns within you is not a mere wish, nor is it an idle thought drifting through your mind. It is a divine whisper, a knowing, a call from the unseen to the seen. What you seek is not something to be created, it already exists. The moment the desire was impressed upon your heart, it was finished. You are not trying to bring it into existence, you are simply aligning yourself with what is already yours. Imagine standing before a great infinite ocean of possibilities. Every version of your life, every outcome, every dream you have ever held exists in that ocean, waiting for you to claim it. You do not need to build it from scratch, nor must you toil endlessly to make it real. It is already real. It is already waiting. Your only task is to shift into the awareness that allows you to receive it. But here is where so many falter. They believe in separation. They see their desires as distant, as something outside themselves, something they must chase, earn, or prove worthy of. This illusion creates delay. The more you see your desire as something apart from you, the more you push it away. The truth is, it has always been within you. It is not somewhere in the distant future. It is here now. You need only awaken to it. Consider the nature of radio frequencies. A station broadcasting beautiful music is always playing, yet you do not hear it unless you tune into the right frequency. Your desires operate the same way. They are already playing on a certain vibration, already fully formed in the unseen. Your role is to attune your mind, your emotions, your entire being to that reality so that it becomes evident in the physical world. This is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about knowing, a deep, unwavering certainty that if the desire exists within you, it is because it already belongs to you. You were not given a longing for something that you cannot have. The very presence of the desire is proof that it is already yours in the realm beyond sight. The physical world is merely the last place where things take form. Everything begins in the unseen before it solidifies into what you call reality. Many live in a state of waiting. They wait for evidence before they believe. They wait for the world to confirm what they should have already known within. But manifestation does not work that way. The world reflects you, it does not determine you. If you wait for proof, you will remain waiting indefinitely. But if you assume it is already done, the world will shift to reflect that assumption. Think of a sculptor who stands before a block of marble. The masterpiece is already inside, waiting to be revealed. The sculptor does not create the image from nothing. They simply remove what is unnecessary until the vision emerges. The same is true of you. You are not forcing something new into existence. You are dissolving the illusion of lack and separation until your desire is made visible. So how do you align with what is already yours? You do so by living in the end. You feel it before you see it. You assume the state of already having, already being, already experiencing. You embody the reality you seek, not in pretense, but in truth. The moment you shift within, everything outside of you must follow. Do not search for signs. Do not check for proof. Simply know. The only thing standing between you and what you seek is the belief that it is separate from you. The moment you drop that belief, the moment you step into the knowing that it is already done, the physical world will bend to make it so. Nothing is missing, nothing is delayed, nothing is denied. It is only a question of whether you are ready to receive. Faith is not an idle wish, nor is it blind optimism. It is not the mere hope that something might happen if the conditions are right. Faith is certainty. It is the unwavering knowing that what you seek is already accomplished, even before your physical senses confirm it. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the invisible and the visible, the imagined and the manifested. Most people misunderstand faith. They treat it as something fragile, something dependent on circumstances, something that wavers in the face of doubt. But true faith is unshakable. It does not require validation from the outside world. It does not need proof to sustain itself. It exists as a force of its own, independent of appearances. Faith declares something is already so, even when the world says otherwise. Imagine standing at the edge of a deep canyon, unable to see the other side, yet knowing without a doubt that a bridge is there. You cannot see it, but you step forward anyway, and with every step, the bridge appears beneath your feet. This is how faith works. It moves before the evidence appears. It walks boldly in the assumption that the unseen is more real than what is temporarily visible. Faith does not ask how, it does not question when, it does not hesitate or second guess. It accepts as fact that what is desired is already done. And because of this certainty, it calls forth that which already exists in the unseen and makes it visible. The mistake many make is in treating faith as hope. Hope is passive. Hope says, I wish this would happen. Faith, on the other hand, is active. Faith says it is done. Hope waits. Faith moves. Hope looks to the future. Faith stands in the now. When you truly have faith, you no longer act as someone who is waiting for a desire to manifest. You act as someone who already has it. You walk, speak, and think from the place of already receiving, already living in that reality. Consider the way an architect operates. When designing a building, the structure does not yet exist in physical form, but in the architect's mind, it is already complete. Every detail is finished, every floor mapped out, every window placed. The architect does not question whether the building will come into existence. They already see it as real. The construction process is simply the unfolding of what was already complete in the mind. Faith works the same way. The moment you conceive of a desire, it is already created in the unseen. Your belief in its existence is what allows it to take form. Doubt is the only thing that interrupts this process. The moment you entertain thoughts of what if it doesn't happen, or maybe it's not meant for me, you halt the manifestation. Not because it is impossible, but because you have stepped out of faith and into uncertainty, and uncertainty delays what is already yours. The world responds to your inner conviction. It mirrors back to you what you believe to be true. If you persist in faith, your desire must appear, for that is the law of creation. The strongest faith does not waver, even in the face of adversity. It does not concern itself with appearances. It does not look at delays as denials. It does not react to temporary circumstances. It remains fixed on the unseen reality, knowing that what is held firmly in belief must materialize. Do not wish, do not hope. Know. Walk as if it is already done. Live in the certainty that what you seek is already accomplished. And in doing so, you will witness the unseen become seen, the impossible become possible, and the invisible take form before your very eyes. To bring your desire into physical reality, you must step into the feeling of already having it. You must abandon the mindset of waiting, hoping, or striving, and instead embody the version of yourself who has already received what you seek. This is not pretense, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the secret to creation, the law that governs all manifestation. Most people live in a state of longing. They believe their desire is separate from them, something distant, something they must chase. But the moment you view your desire as something outside of yourself, you reinforce the illusion of lack. The key is to assume the state of already having, already being, already living in the reality you desire. When you do this, the world has no choice but to conform to your inner conviction. Think of an actor on a stage. The moment they step into a role, they are no longer pretending. They become the character. They move, speak, and think as that person. The audience does not see the actor, they see the role brought to life. This is exactly how creation works. The moment you fully assume the state of already having, you stop acting as if and start being. And the world must mirror that state back to you. This does not mean forcing reality or pretending to have things you do not. It means shifting internally, adjusting your thoughts, emotions, and self-concept to match the version of you that already possesses your desire. If you want abundance, you must think, feel, and walk in the world as someone who is already abundant. If you desire love, you must embody the feeling of already being deeply loved. You do not wait for evidence, you become the evidence. There is no need to struggle, no need to beg, and no need to convince anyone. When you assume the state of already having, you carry a different energy, an energy of certainty, and certainty does not chase, it attracts. The moment you stop seeking, the moment you stop questioning and worrying, the desire moves toward you effortlessly. Look at your life as it is now. Everything you experience is a reflection of your dominant state of being. Your circumstances are not random. They are the direct result of what you have assumed to be true about yourself. If you do not like what you see, you do not change it by fighting against it. You change it by shifting your inner state, by stepping into the feeling of already having what you desire. This is the law of consciousness. It is not about wishing for a new reality. It is about entering it internally before it appears externally. When you fully embody a state, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. You do not need to know how it will happen. You do not need to force outcomes. Your only task is to remain in the knowing that it is already done. Doubt and impatience will try to pull you back into old ways of thinking. You may feel the urge to look for proof, to check if things are changing. But faith does not waver, faith does not seek validation, faith knows. And because it knows, it acts accordingly. The one who knows they are wealthy does not act from lack. The one who knows their success is inevitable does not fear obstacles. Hold the state, persist in the feeling, act, think, and move as if you already have it. And when the world finally reflects back what you have known all along, you will not be surprised. You will simply say, "Of course, it was already mine." Your reality is a direct reflection of your assumptions. The universe does not respond to wishful thinking or fleeting desires. It aligns itself with what you deeply believe to be true. Whether you assume, whether consciously or unconsciously, becomes the blueprint for your experience. If you assume lack, if you believe that life is a struggle, that things are difficult, and that you must fight for what you want, then that is exactly what you will encounter. But if you assume abundance, if you accept that everything flows effortlessly to you, that what you seek is already yours, then the universe has no choice but to fulfill that assumption. Most people look at their circumstances and allow what they see to dictate what they believe. If they have little money, they assume they are broke. If they are lonely, they assume love is unavailable to them. If they face obstacles, they assume life is hard. But they fail to realize that these circumstances are only the reflection of past assumptions, not fixed realities. The external world is never the cause, it is merely the effect. The cause is always within. What you assume to be true about yourself, others, and life itself. To change your reality, you must first change your assumptions. You do not need to force the world to change, you only need to shift your inner belief and the world will follow. If you desire wealth, do not assume that it is something difficult to attain. Instead, assume that money flows to you with ease, that you are always provided for, that abundance is your natural state. If you desire love, do not assume that you are unworthy or that good relationships are rare. Assume that you are deeply loved, that love seeks you out, that the right people are always drawn to you. The universe operates on one simple law. It gives you what you expect. Not what you wish for, not what you plead for, but what you expect as reality. This is why those who expect failure often experience it repeatedly, and why those who assume success seem to attract opportunities effortlessly. It is not luck. It is law. You do not need to wait for proof before adopting a new assumption. In fact, the moment you look for proof, you are operating from doubt. Proof comes after the assumption, never before. You must declare it as true within yourself first. Hold that assumption firmly, and soon enough the world will rearrange itself to match it. Doubt weakens the process. Many people try to assume abundance, but the moment they face a temporary setback, they abandon their belief. They allow the external world to dictate what they hold as true internally, but the secret is persistence. The moment you assume something as fact and refuse to waver, the universe has no choice but to bring it into form. Your assumption is your command. It is not a request, it is an order. When you say, "I am successful," and truly believe it, everything begins shifting in your favor. The right people appear. Opportunities flow to you, and even obstacles seem to dissolve. It may not happen overnight, but it is inevitable. This is why you must be careful with your assumptions. Many assume negative things without realizing they are creating their own suffering. They assume people do not like them, that money is scarce, that life is unfair. And so, the universe complies and proves them right. If you want to transform your life, begin by assuming the best in every situation. Assume that everything is working out for you. Assume that you are favored. Assume that what you desire is already done. Once you take command of your assumptions, you take command of your life. The world is not separate from you. It is a mirror reflecting your inner convictions. Change what you assume and the universe will respond accordingly. Detachment is the key that unlocks manifestation. It is the art of surrender, the ability to release the need to control every step of the process and trust that what you desire is already in motion. Most people block their own manifestations not because they lack faith, but because they refuse to let go. They obsess over the how, constantly checking, doubting, and questioning when and in what way their desire will appear. But manifestation is not about micromanaging the universe. It is about aligning with the end result and allowing everything to unfold naturally. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work. You water it, you provide sunlight, and you allow time to do the rest. The same principle applies to your desires. Once you have impressed the reality of your wish upon your subconscious mind, your only task is to remain in the knowing that it is already done. You do not need to concern yourself with the details. The divine intelligence that governs all things will orchestrate the perfect unfolding. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you give up on your desires. It simply means you release the mental and emotional grip that stems from fear and lack. When you are truly certain that something is yours, you do not feel the need to chase it, worry about it, or constantly affirm it into existence. You rest in the knowing that it is already on its way. The moment you stop looking for evidence is the moment the evidence appears. Many people mistakenly believe that the more they think about their desire, the faster it will come. They spend their days visualizing, affirming, and scripting, yet deep down they are not acting from a place of faith. They are acting from a place of desperation. Their actions are not declarations of certainty, but attempts to force reality to bend to their will. This is not true manifestation, it is resistance, and resistance pushes what you want further away. The paradox of manifestation is this: the less you need something, the faster it comes. Neediness is rooted in lack. When you feel desperate for something to happen, you are telling the universe, I do not have it. And since the universe only reflects what you assume to be true, it will continue to give you more experiences of not having. But when you detach, when you no longer feel anxious or desperate, you signal that you already have what you desire, and what you already have must manifest in the physical. Think about the things that have come into your life effortlessly. Often they arrived when you were least expecting them, when you were not clinging to the outcome. You may have desired them, but you were not fixated on them. This is the power of detachment. When you release control, you make space for the universe to deliver in ways that exceed your expectations. Surrender is not weakness, it is the ultimate strength. It is the understanding that the universe is always working in your favor, that what is meant for you can never be lost, and that everything is unfolding in divine order. The moment you let go of the need to control, you step into true power. You shift from a state of lack to a state of abundance, from fear to faith. Detach, stop checking, stop questioning, stop doubting. Instead, assume the state of already having, and then go about your life with peace. Trust that the unseen forces of the universe are aligning every detail perfectly. Your only task is to hold the knowing, walk in the certainty, and allow your manifestation to arrive in its perfect time. And when it does, you will realize it was never about forcing anything. It was about letting go and allowing what was always meant to be. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the doors of manifestation. It is not merely an emotion or a polite gesture. It is a powerful state of being that affirms to the universe that you have already received what you desire. Most people wait to feel grateful until after their wish has appeared, believing that gratitude is a reaction to blessings received. But true manifestation operates in the reverse. You do not wait to be grateful, you embody gratitude as if your desire is already fulfilled, and in doing so you accelerate the process of its unfolding. Gratitude is the ultimate sign of faith. When you are thankful in advance, you are declaring that you know it is already done. You are not doubting, you are not questioning, and you are not anxiously waiting for proof. Instead, you are walking in the certainty that the unseen is just as real as the seen. This level of trust signals to the universe that you are aligned with the reality you seek, and it has no choice but to bring it into form. Imagine two people seeking the same outcome. One constantly checks for signs, worries about the timing, and questions whether their manifestation is truly on its way. The other moves through life in peace, giving thanks every day, knowing without a doubt that what they desire is already theirs. Which of the two will receive their desire faster? The second person, because their gratitude affirms their belief, and belief is what brings desires into reality. The universe responds to the energy you embody. If you embody frustration, impatience, or doubt, you create resistance. But when you embody gratitude, you enter a state of flow. You align with abundance, with ease, with certainty. This is why those who practice gratitude daily seem to attract blessings effortlessly, because they are constantly reinforcing the assumption that life is already working in their favor. Gratitude also expands your capacity to receive. When you are thankful for what you have, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. It is not just about thanking the universe for what is coming. It is about appreciating everything that already exists. Many people overlook the gifts that surround them daily. They focus so much on what they want that they fail to see what they already have. But when you make gratitude a habit, you begin to notice abundance in places you never saw before. Start each day by giving thanks, not just for what you desire, but for the breath in your lungs, for the opportunities before you, for the smallest things that make life beautiful. Carry this gratitude with you throughout the day. Instead of worrying about when your manifestation will arrive, thank the universe as if it already has. Speak it aloud. I am so grateful that everything I desire is already mine. Feel the truth of these words. Let gratitude become your natural state. When you live in gratitude, you collapse the gap between wanting and having. You no longer operate from a place of needing, because in your heart, you already possess all that you seek. And when you embody this truth, the universe aligns everything in your favor, ensuring that what you have affirmed in gratitude becomes your reality. When you understand that your desire already exists in the unseen, that faith is the bridge to the seen, that acting as if affirms its reality, that your assumptions command the universe, that detachment allows manifestation, and that gratitude accelerates the process, you step into your true creative power. There is no need to struggle, no need to chase, and no need to beg for what is already yours. The universe is not withholding anything from you. It is simply responding to your state of being. Trust that it is done. Walk with the certainty that what you have asked for is already in motion. Release all doubt, surrender the how, and allow divine timing to unfold in perfection. Express gratitude as though your desire has already manifested, and you will find that what once seemed distant is now your reality. All that you seek is seeking you. Your role is not to force, but to align. Your reality shifts the moment you do. So step forward with unwavering faith, knowing that the universe is always working in your favor. It is already done. Trust, act, and receive. Thank you. There is a great secret, and few ever realize it. Your focus is the most powerful tool you possess. Wherever you direct it, energy flows, and reality shapes itself accordingly. Yet most people scatter their focus, chasing validation, explaining themselves, seeking approval from those who do not hold the power to shape their destiny. You do not need to explain your journey to anyone. Silence is misunderstood by those who fear their own thoughts. But it is the foundation upon which all creation rests. Your silence is not emptiness. It is alignment. In silence, the greatest revolutions begin. In silence, the most profound shifts occur. Let the world wonder. Let them assume. Let them question. It does not concern you. When you are focused on yourself, you step into a power that cannot be seen but is deeply felt. Others may not understand why you have grown distant, why you no longer engage in trivial distractions, but that is not your burden to carry. Your purpose is not to convince anyone of your transformation. Your purpose is to embody it. Detach from the noise. Detach from the opinions. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you reclaim your power. When you no longer chase, beg, or seek validation, life begins to work in your favor. Doors open, paths clear. What you once struggled to attain now flows effortlessly into your reality. Do not waste your breath trying to make people see what only you were meant to understand. Remain silent and trust. For in your silence, the unseen is taking form. In your solitude, something greater is being built. Focus on yourself, and soon, the world will focus on you. Not because you sought its attention, but because you no longer needed it. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you continuously hold within your mind. Every circumstance, every encounter, and every event is a mirror, showing you what you have accepted as truth about yourself and life. Most people believe that life happens to them, that events unfold randomly, that circumstances are dictated by forces outside their control. But the reality is far different. Life is shaped from within. The world you walk through each day is not separate from you. It is a projection of your assumptions, beliefs, and deeply held thoughts. When you allow yourself to fully grasp this truth, you begin to realize the immense power you hold. Nothing exists independently of your awareness. If you assume yourself to be limited, struggling, or unworthy, life will mold itself to confirm those beliefs. It will present obstacles, rejection, and hardship, not because you are destined to suffer, but because that is what you unconsciously affirm. But if you assume yourself to be worthy, abundant, and successful, the world must shape itself to reflect that state of being. It has no choice. Your beliefs act as an invisible architect, constructing the reality you walk through each day. These beliefs are not just idle thoughts that pass through your mind, they are the foundations upon which your entire life is built. If you constantly tell yourself that success is difficult, that love is rare, or that happiness is fleeting, you will see these ideas play out before you, not because they are absolute truths, but because you have accepted them as such. On the other hand, when you change the way you think, when you replace doubt with certainty, fear with confidence, and limitation with possibility, life begins to shift in ways that seem almost miraculous. It is not enough to simply wish for change while continuing to entertain the same limiting thoughts. True transformation requires a shift in consciousness, a deep and unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. This is where most people falter. They allow the evidence of the physical world to dictate their beliefs, instead of understanding that their beliefs create the physical world. They look at their current circumstances and reinforce them by reacting emotionally, further embedding those unwanted experiences into their reality. But the key to changing your life is to first change what you accept as true within yourself. Assume the feeling of already being the person you wish to become. Not someday, not in the distant future, but right now. Let your thoughts reflect that reality. If you desire success, do not dwell on failure. If you seek love, do not entertain thoughts of loneliness. If you wish for abundance, let go of ideas of lack. The more you persist in an assumption, the more it solidifies into reality. Life does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your conviction. The shift does not happen overnight. The mind, conditioned by years of habitual thinking, will resist at first. Doubt will creep in. The external world may continue to reflect the old beliefs for a while. But your job is not to react to the old reality. It is to persist in your new assumption, knowing that the external world is only a delayed reflection of your inner state. If you hold firm, if you refuse to let appearances dictate your inner world, you will witness a transformation so profound that it will feel as though the entire universe has conspired to shift in your favor. Most people remain trapped in the cycle of reacting to life rather than creating it. They wake up each day and allow their environment to dictate how they feel, what they believe, and what they expect. But the moment you take control of your inner world, everything changes. You are no longer a passive participant, you become the creator. You begin to walk through life with an unshakable confidence, knowing that you are the master of your destiny. Hold the assumption of your ideal life so firmly in your mind that it becomes more real to you than the world you currently see. Do not wait for evidence, create it. Do not seek external validation, know it within. When your inner world shifts, the outer world has no choice but to follow. Silence holds a power that few truly understand. In a world that thrives on noise, where people constantly seek validation through words and external recognition, the ability to remain silent is often mistaken for weakness. But true strength does not need to announce itself. It does not seek to prove, argue, or convince. It simply is. The greatest transformations, the most profound shifts in life, happen in silence, away from the noise of opinions and distractions. And silence is the space where real power is cultivated. It is in silence that the mind clears, that thoughts become intentional, and that desires take form. When you resist the urge to explain yourself, when you stop feeling the need to justify your actions, you reclaim the energy that is so often wasted on trying to make others understand you. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey, and that is perfectly fine. Your growth, your success, your transformation, none of it requires the approval of others. The most successful, powerful individuals move in silence. They do not broadcast their plans, their struggles, or their next moves. Instead, they focus inward, directing all their energy toward their vision, allowing their actions and results to do the speaking for them. Words can be manipulated, misunderstood, or dismissed, but results are undeniable. When you commit to your path and refuse to be distracted by external noise, you step into a power that few possess, the power of quiet certainty. When you speak less, you observe more. You begin to notice things that others overlook. You become attuned to the subtle shifts in energy, the hidden opportunities, and the unspoken intentions of those around you. Silence sharpens your intuition, giving you an edge that cannot be acquired through loudness or constant expression. When you are silent, you listen, not just to others, but to yourself, to the whispers of your own soul, to the guidance that comes when the mind is still. Many people fear silence because they associate it with invisibility, with being overlooked or forgotten. But the opposite is true. Those who master the art of silence command a presence that is felt even when they do not speak. There is a quiet confidence in those who do not need to fill every moment with words. Their energy speaks for them. Their actions make a statement that no speech could ever match. Discipline yourself to resist the urge to announce your every move. Not everyone needs to know what you are working on, what you are struggling with, or what you intend to achieve. The more you reveal, the more room you leave for doubt, interference, and negativity from those who do not have your best interests at heart. Protect your energy by keeping your plans close. Let people see the results when they manifest, not when they are still in the delicate process of formation. Silence is not passivity. It is not avoidance. It is a deliberate choice to conserve energy, to move with intention, and to operate from a place of quiet power. Those who waste their breath trying to prove themselves to others are often the ones who lack true confidence. They seek external validation because they have not yet built internal certainty. But when you truly believe in yourself, you do not need to say much. You simply do. There will always be those who misunderstand your silence, who mistake it for a lack of direction or purpose. But that is because they have not yet learned that the greatest storms build in quiet. The most profound transformations happen when no one is watching. The most unstoppable people do not announce themselves. They emerge fully formed when the time is right. Resist the urge to react, to explain, to seek approval. Move in silence, not because you are afraid to speak, but because you know that true power does not need to be declared. It is felt. And when the time comes, the world will see what you have been building, not through your words, but through the undeniable reality of your success. The need for validation is one of the greatest chains that bind people to lives of limitation. From a young age, many are conditioned to seek approval, to be praised, to be accepted, to be acknowledged. But in doing so, they unknowingly give away their power. The moment you look outside yourself for validation, you allow the opinions of others to dictate your worth, your choices, and ultimately your destiny. True freedom begins the moment you detach from this need and realize that you do not require permission to become the person you were meant to be. When you constantly seek validation, you live in a state of uncertainty. You measure your worth based on how others perceive you. And because opinions are ever changing, so is your sense of self. One day you may feel confident because someone praises you. The next, you may feel doubtful because someone criticizes you. This is a dangerous way to live because it means your inner world is controlled by forces outside of you. But the truth is, no one can define you except yourself. No one holds the authority to determine your value. The only validation you truly need is your own. Detaching from external validation is not about rejecting feedback or isolating yourself from the world. It is about recognizing that you are the ultimate authority over your life. You must learn to trust your own judgment, to stand firm in your beliefs even when others do not understand them. If you are constantly looking for reassurance, you will always be at the mercy of others' opinions, and your life will become a reflection of their expectations rather than your true desires. The greatest minds, the most successful individuals, and the most powerful people in history did not seek approval. They walked their path with certainty, often in the face of opposition, ridicule, and doubt. They understood that seeking validation is a distraction, a way of handing control over to those who do not see the vision as clearly as they do. They were not swayed by public opinion because they knew that true conviction does not require confirmation. When you stop seeking validation, you become unshakable. You no longer need constant reassurance that you are on the right path. You simply trust yourself. You move with a quiet confidence, knowing that your worth is not up for debate. This shift in mindset liberates you. You are no longer held back by fear of judgment. You stop hesitating, stop second guessing, and start living fully, unapologetically, as the person you were meant to be. Many people remain trapped in a cycle of seeking approval because they fear rejection. They fear being misunderstood or criticized. But rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a sign that not everyone is meant to walk with you. The opinions of others are shaped by their own limitations, fears, and beliefs. What someone else thinks of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. The moment you understand this, you reclaim your power. Walking your path with certainty does not mean you will never face resistance. In fact, the stronger your belief in yourself, the more you will challenge the status quo and the more opposition you may encounter. But this is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to keep going. If you live for approval, you will live a life of compromise. But if you live for truth, your truth, you will experience a freedom that most people never taste. Trust yourself. You do not need permission to evolve, to grow, to change. You do not need approval to chase your dreams, to walk away from what no longer serves you, or to step into the life you desire. The only permission you need is your own. And when you give it to yourself, when you fully embrace the power that has always been within you, the world will have no choice but to recognize the force that you have become. Energy is the currency of life. Where you direct it determines what you experience. Most people spend their energy carelessly, focused on others, consumed by opinions, reacting to external circumstances. They scatter their power, giving their attention to things that do not serve them, and then wonder why life feels chaotic and unfulfilling. But the truth is simple. The energy you give is the energy you receive. If you pour your attention into distractions, you will receive more distractions. If you obsess over what others think, you will feel uncertain and dependent on their approval. But if you focus on yourself, your growth, your desires, your inner world, life aligns in your favor, bringing you exactly what you seek. Many do not realize how much energy they waste by being overly concerned with others. They analyze people's opinions, compare themselves, and seek validation, not understanding that every thought and emotion directed outward weakens their own power. The more you give your energy to others in this way, the less you have for yourself. This is why so many feel drained, stuck, or lost, because their energy is not focused on their own path. They are living reactively instead of intentionally. But when you shift that focus inward, everything changes. You reclaim your energy. You stop chasing and start attracting. The moment you prioritize yourself, your goals, your mindset, your well-being, you begin to move differently. You radiate confidence, and that confidence draws opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your desires. This is not a coincidence. It is a reflection of the law that governs all things. What you send out is what you receive. If you constantly focus on negativity, on what is wrong, on what you lack, on what others are doing, you invite more of the same into your life. But if you shift your energy to gratitude, self-improvement, and possibility, life responds accordingly. It is not about forcing things to happen, but about creating the right internal environment for them to happen naturally. When you operate from a place of abundance, abundance flows toward you. When you move with certainty, life mirrors that certainty back to you. This is why focusing on yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. It is not selfish, it is necessary. The more you invest in your own energy, the more magnetic you become. You do not need to chase, convince, or struggle. You simply need to align. An alignment happens when you stop looking outward for direction and start trusting that everything you need is already within you. The world will try to pull your energy in 1,000 different directions. It will tempt you to compare, to react, to seek approval. But every time you give in to these distractions, you weaken your own power. Instead, discipline yourself to remain focused. Ask yourself daily, where is my energy going? Is it fueling my growth, or is it being wasted on things beyond my control? When you truly understand that energy is your most valuable asset, you will guard it fiercely. You will stop engaging in pointless arguments. You will stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You will stop seeking love, success, or happiness outside of yourself, because you will know that everything you desire is a reflection of the energy you cultivate within. Let others do as they wish. Let them think as they please. None of that concerns you. Your only responsibility is to master your own energy, to direct it with intention, and to trust that by doing so, life will unfold exactly as it should. When you focus on yourself, you are not ignoring the world. You're simply choosing to shape it rather than be shaped by it. And in doing so, you unlock a power that few ever realize, the power to create the life you truly desire. Not everyone is meant to understand you. This is a truth that, once accepted, will set you free. Many people spend their lives trying to explain themselves, justify their choices, and gain approval from those who were never meant to see their vision. But when you seek understanding from others, you give away your power. You make their perception more important than your own growth. The reality is, your journey is yours alone, and not everyone will see it, appreciate it, or support it, and that is perfectly fine. As you evolve, you will notice that your silence unsettles people. Some will misinterpret your distance as arrogance, coldness, or even rejection. They will question why you are not as available, why you no longer engage in meaningless conversations, why you have shifted your focus inward. But their confusion is not your concern. The path of growth requires solitude. It demands that you remove yourself from distractions, from unnecessary attachments, and from the need to explain yourself at every turn. Those who truly align with you will not need an explanation. They will understand your silence without question. When you begin to change, when you elevate your thinking, when you prioritize your peace, when you no longer entertain negativity, some will feel uncomfortable. They may resist your transformation because it challenges their own way of being. They were comfortable with who you used to be, with the version of you that was always available, always explaining, always seeking approval. But you are not here to remain stagnant for the comfort of others. You are here to grow. And growth often requires outgrowing people, places, and patterns that no longer serve you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them create their own stories about why you have become more distant, more focused, more selective with your energy. It is not your job to correct their assumptions. Your only responsibility is to continue evolving. Those who are meant to be in your life will adjust to your growth. Those who are not will remove themselves. Either way, it is not your burden to carry. One of the greatest mistakes you can make is slowing down your own progress just to be more relatable to others. You do not need to shrink yourself to fit into spaces you have outgrown. You do not need to dim your light so that others feel comfortable in your presence. The right people, the ones who are aligned with your purpose, will not only accept your transformation but will celebrate it. They will respect your silence, understand your distance, and support your decision to focus on yourself. There is great power in realizing that understanding is not a requirement for connection. Some of the most profound shifts in your life will happen in solitude, without validation, without applause, and without explanation. This is because true transformation happens within. It is an internal process, not something that needs to be broadcasted or justified. You do not need the world to understand you, you only need to understand yourself. If you spend your energy trying to convince others of your worth, your vision, or your decisions, you will exhaust yourself. Instead, let your actions speak. Move in silence. Focus on your path. Allow your evolution to unfold naturally. The right people will recognize your growth without needing an explanation. The wrong people will question it because they were never meant to follow you on this journey. The other day, your purpose is not to be understood, it is to evolve, to become the highest version of yourself, to embrace change without hesitation, to walk your path with confidence even when no one else sees the destination. Let them misunderstand, let them talk, let them wonder. It does not matter. What matters is that you keep moving forward, unshaken, unapologetic, and fully aligned with who you are meant to be. Faith is not built in what is seen, it is built in what is unseen. It is the quiet confidence that what you hold within will inevitably become your reality. Most people struggle with this because they seek external confirmation before they believe. They want signs, validation, and proof before they trust in their desires. But true faith requires no proof. It demands that you trust the unseen so completely that the outer world has no choice but to conform. When you withdraw from the need to explain yourself, you allow faith to work in your favor. You stop looking for validation from others and instead you rest in the knowing that what you have accepted within will soon take shape in the physical world. The need to convince others is a sign of doubt. If you truly believed, you would not feel the need to explain, defend, or justify your vision. You would hold it in silence, knowing that time will reveal all things. There is immense power in keeping your desires private. Many people weaken their manifestations by speaking too soon, sharing their dreams with those who cannot see what they see. They open themselves up to doubt, criticism, and external opinions that dilute their inner certainty. But when you understand how faith operates, you no longer seek permission or approval. You hold your vision close, nurturing it in the unseen until it becomes undeniable. Everything in this world begins as an unseen idea. The tallest buildings, the greatest inventions, the most profound transformations, all started as thoughts. Before they became visible, they existed in the mind of someone who dared to believe. They did not need the world's approval. They did not need others to understand. They simply held on to their vision with unwavering faith, allowing it to take root and grow in silence. You must do the same. Instead of explaining yourself, focus on embodying the version of yourself that already has what you seek. If you desire success, feel successful now. If you desire love, feel love now. If you desire abundance, feel abundant now. Your imagination is the blueprint for your future, and what you persist in assuming will harden into fact. This is how faith operates, not by waiting for proof, but by trusting that the unseen is more real than what the eyes perceive. Most people live in reverse. They react to their current circumstances and assume that what they see is all there is. They forget that their current reality is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If they wish to change their life, they must first change what they accept as true within. This is where faith becomes essential. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the imagined and the experienced. Silence is the companion of faith. When you move in silence, you allow the unseen to work on your behalf. You do not waste energy explaining yourself to those who cannot see what you see. You do not seek reassurance from the world. Instead, you stand firm in your belief, knowing that the manifestation is already on its way. The moment you let go of the need to prove anything, you step into alignment with the very thing you desire. Let others wonder. Let them question your silence, your distance, your unwavering confidence. It is not your job to make them understand. Your only task is to hold your vision so steadily that nothing can shake it. When you master this, life will unfold effortlessly in your favor. What was once unseen will become undeniable. What was once only imagined will become your lived reality. And when that day comes, you will realize that faith was never about proving anything to others. It was always about proving it to yourself. The journey of focusing on yourself and staying silent is one of inner mastery. It requires you to detach from the need for validation, to trust in the unseen, and to understand that not everyone is meant to comprehend your path. True power does not announce itself. It moves in silence, allowing faith to shape reality without the need for explanation. When you withdraw from distractions and external opinions, you reclaim your energy, align with your desires, and step into the life you were meant to live. Let others misunderstand you. Let them question your distance. It is not your concern. Your purpose is not to be seen or validated. It is to evolve. The less you explain, the more life unfolds in your favor. So walk in quiet confidence, knowing that what you hold within will manifest without. Move with certainty. Trust in yourself and let your results speak louder than words ever could. Thank you.